Greetings, everybody. This is a wonderful morning. This is a wonderful day. It's a wonderful afternoon. It's a wonderful evening, wherever you are and wherever you are watching this broadcast from. I just want to release a quick word which is going to change your life, and not just change your life, but it's going to bring transformation in your life. And that transformation will start from your mind, and then from your mind it's gonna come out, because I believe everything starts from the mind and then they manifest now physically in the physical earthly dimension. Remember, the mind we don't see as something that we consider the unknown linkage, or let me say the higher dimension, the spiritual dimension, or something like that. And check, when something is enabled in the spiritual dimension, what gets to happen is that it gets to manifest in the physical dimension too, in the third dimension where we are in. So in short, from the higher dimension into the lower dimension which we are in now, in short, the materialistic dimension, from the spirit dimension to the materialistic dimension. So this is one thing I want you to understand. There is only one way for you to do that, and it goes with convincing yourself. This is what I've been telling a lot of people, and I've been telling myself as well, that in everything that I get to do, I should convince myself. If I don't convince myself, nobody will be convinced in whatever that I'll be doing. No matter whatever you might be doing, wherever you are, if you don't convince yourself, nobody's gonna be convinced. Same applies also, if you don't believe in yourself, who's gonna believe you? Nobody. So in short, these are some of the key points that we actually miss in life. In short, when you want something, convince yourself about that thing, that indeed I really want this. In short, I have got it already. Then outside is gonna also happen, and other people, they'll be also convinced to say, yeah, we know he deserves it because he was convinced by himself. So the secret to getting to manifest your desires, convince yourself. Get to convince yourself before others get to be convinced. And the other thing is that don't let other things to convince you, but yourself. Don't let other people to say, yeah, you really deserve this, and whatnot. Those are just cheap opinions. Some people, they can say you deserve to be poor, my man. My sister, you deserve to not get married, my sister. You short, they are trying to give you all those points to say that you don't really deserve it. I mean, like you don't really deserve to be married, or you don't really deserve to be prosperous and for you to be working or something. In short, they convince your mind now that to an extent that your subconscious and your self-belief there will be like, yo, indeed I think I don't, because so and so, my family members, they are in the very same thing. My friends and all those people that are around me, they are also struggling. I think I'm convinced. I think I don't need to prosper. I think I don't need to enjoy myself. I think I don't need to drive. I think I don't need to own my own company. Because convince yourself to own your own company. Many at times we are really convinced by other people what they're telling us. Get some work, get employed. But what about if you say, now I want to be employing? Convince yourself. It's all about convincing yourself. Nothing apart from that. And this is number one key to get your desires to manifest, where you convince yourself and others will be convinced. Don't let others to convince you, but yourself. Convince yourself that you deserve better than what you are in right now. Convince yourself that you can do better than anybody who did it better before. Convince yourself to say that I can actually own even massive things than anyone that I've ever known. Convince yourself. Don't let other people to convince you to say, for me to get where I am right now, it costed so much and whatnot. No, it's not about that. That's why I don't believe in all those things anymore. I believe in what I want to believe in. In short, I convince myself with what I want to have. In short, I see myself so big. I believe that I'm bigger than whoever who's around me. I know that I'm bigger and I'm on top than anyone who's ever been on top before. In short, get to convince yourself. That's how you get to manifest things in the third dimension, from the spiritual dimension. In short, in the earthly dimension. So there is a level where you get to manifest your things, your desires, your wants. In short, convince yourself. When you convince yourself, you're releasing a powerful magnetic positive force concerning what you are actually desiring and wanting. So we don't know about that. That's why, when we get to be convinced by other people telling us, no, this is this, this is that, what happens is that all of a sudden you have this negative energy. It's a negative magnetic energy which is gonna attract lesser than actually what you had wanted at the first time. So these are some of the key points. So convince yourself, believe in yourself, for others to believe you, for others to be convinced about whatever you want to be doing. Yes. Say yes to prosperity on a higher dimension. Don't settle for what other people they are having or their success or whatnot. Always take it higher to the next level. Shalom. I'm convinced that whoever who's watching this broadcast right now, their lives will never be the same.